Hello folks, thank you once again for joining me in this video edition. Here today, what I want to do is to demonstrate to you, help you understand how you can onboard a new user into your Entra environment, that is your Microsoft Entra environment, and assign role, Entra level role and permission to this user, and at the same time, onboard the same user to have the right permission and role in Azure services. So let's get into that. The first thing I would like to do is to create a new user, and I will go to users and I will create new user. So let me call this user Entra, let me say RBAC. Oh no, don't let me use the word RBAC, let me use Azure, Azure user. Maybe I should put demo. Okay, good. So display name, I can use that as display name as well. And I can go ahead and say, okay, let's create it. I think that is enough. So now that a user has been created, the next thing I want us to do is to go to our, still within that, let me go to our services, go back to Entra ID, and go back to roles and administrators. So here, I want to assign a built-in role. See, most of these roles, they are built-in. Let's say I want this user, Entra Azure demo user, to be an AI administrator. So I will click on this. So let's say I want to assign maybe AI administrator. So I will go there, I will click on that particular role, and I will search the name. So let me do assignment. Then when I go to assignment, you can see the name of my user came up here, or comes up here. Then I will add, and that is the way to assign a built-in role, at Entra level to a user. Now, let me move back one bit. Now that this role has been assigned, now the other thing I could have done is what we call new, let me say custom role. Now, I should be able to create a custom role here and assign it to the same user, but because my license doesn't allow for that, but I will demonstrate that in Azure environment, something similar to that. So now I've created a user, I've assigned that user a built-in role in Entra environment, Entra level. Now, let me go back to our services. Let me go back to what we call resource group. Where's my resource group? Okay, here we go. So here I can create a new resource group. I can call it RBAC resource group demo 01, and I can go ahead and create a resource group. So when that is done, then let me refresh. Okay, so we have that resource group now. If I open the resource group, then I can go to access control. So when I go to access control, then the next thing I want to do is to add a role assignment. Something similar to what I did, when I was assigning a role assignment, when I was assigning a role to the user at the Entra level. Now I'm assigning a role at Azure level, which is resource level. So for instance, I want to maybe just say you should be able to read. And so maybe you should be able to read. And what I do is to just say read and say next. And choose that role, then choose or select my user here. So select, and I will say next. Every other thing here is good by me, so I can just say next, and I will say review and create. So with that, I've added assign role, assign role to that user. So I've assigned two categories of role now, because the emphasis I'm making here is that sometimes it could be confusing when you're supposed to assign a resource level role different from, a tenant level role. A tenant level role is what I did first. I went to the Entra ID, I created a user, from there I assigned a built-in role that it should be AI administrator. Now that particular role is just for the Entra tenant. But when it comes to the resources that this particular user can access, within the Azure subscription, you have to do that, practically do that. So, and that is what I've done by saying, okay, you should be able to read. Now, when that happens, the other thing I want to do is to create a custom role within the Azure environment, which is custom RBAC. So let me go here and say, okay, add custom role. So now I can call my custom role, I can call it RBAC demo custom role. Then I can give it the same, and just say next. So I can add permission. Let me say add permission here. So I can see what Azure directory. Let me look for something that is maybe any scale platform. What do I want to be able to do on any scale platform? I want to be able to read alone. I add that, and I say next. You can see the permission. So you can see that this is scoped to a subscription, an Azure subscription. So this is not a tenant wide, no. It's scoped to a subscription and a resource group. So after this, I can just say review and create. So now I have been able to, okay, that is successfully created. So what I've done here is that I have been able to create a user, give that user a tenant level role, and give that user an RBAC role. So both of them works together to give depending on what you want to do. And the point I'm trying to make here is that there is a difference between an Entra level role and Azure level role or Azure subscription level role. Now, one opens the door for that identity environment. The other one gives you the right permission to access certain resources. So they are not doing the same job, but they have to be separated because of the way the design is made. And with that, I come to the end of this video of making, demonstrating the difference between these two role categories and how it affects users, as it were. So we see you in the next video. Thank you.